A few years ago, my family and I made a large life decision that felt both exciting and a bit scary for us. We moved from the US to Japan with 3 children as part of a life experiment where we said, all right, let's try moving to Japan and staying there for 3 years. And I'd like to share today with you 2 mental models that helped us kind of think through that decision. The first is what has to be true in order for this to succeed, in order for this to go well. And something that my boss at my former employer, Jason, shared with me, and we use it a lot at our work too in terms of problem solving. But in our specific case, we applied it to our family and said, what would have to be true for this move to be a win for us? And as we stepped through what that looked like for our different family members, for my wife, who's Japanese, it was clear that we needed to be close to family and friends for her. And so that really put a ring around Tokyo area and helped us provide a filter in terms of where to look at for location, because you've got a whole country where we could have potentially lived. Then for our children, we needed to be able to have them go to local school because we wanted them to be able to grow up speaking Japanese, being bilingual, and also understanding the Japanese culture and having that part of their upbringing. And we also wanted to make sure that they were able to assimilate well and make friends. And then for me, I needed to be able to do well, as being a provider for the family, and that was something that was kind of a non-negotiable. And the second framework that we used is how can we de-risk it? How can we take the risk out of these situations? And so for my wife, again, it was really pretty straightforward in that if we can be close to family and friends, she can feel that connection, and it will be something that will be, beneficial for her. And then for my kids, a couple things that we did. We actually, probably a few years in advance, we spent 3 months in Japan, and we put our girls in local elementary school and kind of gave them the opportunity to have a taste for a semester of school here. And that kind of gave us the confidence to know that they would be able to adapt and, kind of get into the swing of things with a little bit of time. So we gave ourselves about 1 year to 2 years for that to work out in terms of them, reintegrating and becoming where they're proficient in Japanese and able to keep up with class and schoolwork. And then for myself, again, this is something that I started kind of, multiple years in advance, but as part of my, dream and vision of, being able to live with more freedom and intentionality in my life, I had made some investments in real estate and built up a small online business. And so kind of with that, I knew that I would be able to, at least to a certain extent, support our family while we were in the transition phase. And then because I was able to leave my employer on great terms, was actually able to consult for them and help really properly onboard my replacement, as well as help them with some additional projects that they needed some help on as part of my transition out, which was about 11 months. And so that really helped our situation as we were able to kind of have continuity and income while we were moving. So those 2 mental frameworks really helped us, and I hope that that's something that will help you too. So next time you're making a large life decision, I encourage you to try those out. So the first one was what has to be true. So you really just kind of think through and list out the things that would need to be true in order for that to be a win for you and your family and your situation. And then the second one is to kind of step through and see, all right, what are the largest risks here and what can I do to mitigate them, so you can make the decision a little bit less scary and can take that leap. And 1.5 years in, I can say that everybody's doing really well. Kids are adjusted. We put them in different after-school activities. We live close to a park, so it makes it easy for them to play with their friends. And part of that environment design has also been a really big help for us. And my wife's able to meet her friends fairly regularly, as well as her family. And so happy to say that it's going well for us. So again, I hope this is those 2 frameworks, what would have to be true for me, and then how can I de-risk it, are helpful for you. So have a good day and take care.